Carpenter Brewing Company presents Brew Battles!
Welcome to the Carpenter Brewing Company personalized beer profile. In this video, I'm going to explain what a personal beer profile is and why you should be excited about it. And then I'm going to explain how you can get one, and I'll go through an example of what a personal beer profile contains, what's in it, and then the future plans for what this beer profile thing is. So let's jump right into it. What is a personalized beer profile? So basically, it's a 6-page personal report based on your favorite beers. It contains the most advanced beer recommendation algorithm in the world, and it's a very informational description of your personal tastes in beer. So how do you get one? First, you go to our website, carpenterbrewingcompany.com. It'll look like this right here. And what you're going to do is click right here in where it shows it's highlighted in this red oval. It's called Personalized Beer Profile. Click that link and then just fill out that information it asks for. It asks for your name, your email address, so we can email the beer profile to you, a geographic location, which you'll see why we need that later, and then you just list your favorite beers, anywhere from 1 or 2 to up to 50 beers. So moving on, now I'm going to run through an example of what is in a personalized beer profile. I'm going to use my own beer profile as an example right here. This is mine, Justin Carpenter. So I've provided into my personalized beer profile 32 favorite beers. And so the first page of the beer profile looks sort of like this. It shows your top 10 beers. And although we're only showing your top 10, we used all 32 or however many you entered in the algorithm to calculate all the results that you're seeing in the subsequent pages. So then based on all of your inputs, it gives you a bunch of information about beer styles, what defines the different styles, what characteristics the different styles have. Every style has a typical percent alcohol range, also called percent ABV, bitterness range, which they use international bitterness units or IBU. It has an original and final gravity. Those have to do with the color and the amount of sugars that are in the beer, and a color value. And we use what's called an SRM value for that. And so there's 28 recognized styles and categories with multiple subcategories within each of these. And in our app here, we exclude specialty beers, meads, and ciders. And so we have the 19 remaining beer styles that we use in our algorithm here. And so based on all the beers that you've inputted, it tells you which is the most common style that you've put in your list of favorites. And for me here, it's circled in this red oval here at the bottom. It's style 14B American IPA. And then in the box here at the very bottom, it gives you the typical ranges and characteristics of that style of beer. Typically, in this example, that an American IPA is anywhere from 5.5 to 7.5% alcohol. It has an IBU range from 40 to 70, a color range from 6 to 15, and then it has the original and final gravity ranges. The next page of your report gets into the first characteristics of your beer, which is the percent alcohol by volume, percent ABV, and you'll get a chart that looks like this. And so basically, going across from left to right, it lists the 19 different styles of beer and their typical ranges of percent ABV, as shown by these the red diamonds. That's the average percent for that style, and then the black bar represents the range for that style of beer. So for example, right here, a light lager ranges, it looks like anywhere from 2.5 to 6% alcohol with an average somewhere around 5. So that's how you read that. And then based on your inputted beers, you see where your preferences lie. And so mine lay where this blue line is, around 7.6% alcohol is what I typically like. And then the bars, the gradient bars that are around that blue line represent your spread, your range of alcohol percentages that you like. And so how wide these blue bars are depends on how focused or preferenced you are in towards a certain value, or how much you don't care if it's that value or not. And so I'm slightly preferenced around the 7.6% alcohol range is what you're seeing here. And then you can just go across and look, where do I intersect best with what style? And it looks like I'm really close to the center of the India Pale Ale range, the IPA range. What a surprise there. And then what styles do not overlap with my blue bars? It looks like English brown ales aren't going to be something that I like, just based on that they don't have the percent alcohol by volume that I typically would like. And that's how you read these charts. So moving on to international bitterness units, the bitterness of beer. And you'll see a similar chart with all of the different styles going from left to right. And in this case, I have an average, based on my inputs, bitterness units that I like of around 65. But you can see what you're looking at here is how wide my range is very wide. So what that really means that I have no real preference for bitterness. I like beers that are not bitter, and I like beers that are extremely bitter. I have a large range. So I'm going to really enjoy any different style, at least based on bitterness alone. That's how you interpret that. Now moving on to color. Again, similar style chart. In my case, I am focused around a color value of 11 SRM, which, just for your reference, you can see in the top right here where that lies on the color. I'm kind of in this tannish brown color, almost to the orange and golden, or orange and red ambery colors, but not quite, but a little bit darker than like the really light beers and the pilsners and stuff. So that's my typical range of color, you can see right there. And then you draw the bar across. What styles would I really enjoy? Maybe a European amber lager, or again an India Pale Ale, big surprise there. And then what styles would I not like? Looks like the stouts are completely out of my range of colored beer that I would typically like, and that does hold true. I'm not a big stout fan. And porters as well would probably be outside of the range of what I would like. Moving on, next we look at cost. So for all the beers you inputted, I know how much those cost to buy, and so looks like on average I pay about $2.61 for a 12-ounce bottle, and I have a certain amount of focus in that range, which we consider as an expensive beer. Some of them get up to $50 a bottle, and looks like $75 for a 12-ounce bottle, and some of them are as cheap as 50 cents for a bottle. So I'm towards the more expensive range there. And then finally we get into the recommendations section of your profile. This is the most advanced recommendation algorithm in the world, and what you will see here are some very spot-on recommendations of beers that you might enjoy. So what this does is it looks at, based on all the beers you've inputted, which style would best fit your preferences. And again, mine's the India Pale Ale, which aligns with what the styles that I inputted, but sometimes it will recommend a style of beer that is different from the majority of what you inputted, and so that might be a new thing that you'd want to go try. At this point in time, we had a beer database of 438, and 248 of those are locally available in my area. And again, that is why you put in your geography, your location, when you enter your data on our website, so that we can give you two lists. One of, these are the list on the left here, these are the best beers in the world for what you would like the most, and then, which is sometimes only interesting if you can't go out and buy those, so that we provided also the list on the right these are the ones that you can go out and actually buy in your area that you would also like. And so moving on, this gives you the list. And just to give you an idea of how spot on this is, I'll give you 2 examples. The first one is the first time I put in my inputs when I created this algorithm, it gave me a list of beers. We had a smaller database back then, but one of the beers that it recommended, I think it was probably number 4 of my recommendations. I went out in my kitchen and I had that beer in my fridge, and oh, what a coincidence. So I popped that open and it was delicious. And I've had that same experience multiple times when I try beers that it's been recommended through this algorithm, and they're just all have been really spot on and delicious. And the next example is somebody gave me their inputs on our website, and I'm entering their beers, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I'm going down their list of favorite beers and I'm putting them into the algorithm to create their beer profile. And so I had maybe 4 or 5 of them, and as I'm entering those, it's continuously calculating what their best recommended beers are. And so I'd entered about 4 or 5 of them, and it had a number 1 ranked recommended beer was actually the next one that was on their list. And so it knew what their next favorite beer was before I even was able to input it. That's how spot on it is. So moving on, the final page of your beer profile will look like this. It's our community page. And so what you can do is you can enter specific groups of friends, and you could compare whose tastes are most similar and most different from yours. So when you enter it and you have a group of friends, just give a group name as well. And that group name will allow me to group a bunch of you guys up and compare your tastes against each other. So it tells me that I'm most similar to Jeff Weiss and most different from Brian Ernst. You guys don't know those people, but if you're in a group, you'll know the people that are in your group. Then it gives you some information about all of the people that have ever taken a beer profile. Out of all of them right now, the most popular style is an American IPA. 15% of all the beers chosen are of that style. The most popular beer right now is Blue Moon White, which appears on 41% of the people's lists at an average position or ranking of 6.4. The average ABV is 6.2, and average IBU is 36. The average SRM is 13, and the average that everyone pays for a 12-ounce bottle is $2.30. And so then it also gives you these 4 kind of visuals to show how you rank compared to everyone else who has filled out a beer profile. In my case, I'm in the 88th percentile for alcohol percent, the 94th percentile for bitterness. I like a bitter. Color, I'm in the 44th percentile, kind of mid-range for color, and the 72nd percentile for cost. And so that's what a beer profile is. That's what you get when you enter it on our website. And so what are the future plans for what we're going to do with the beer profile? And so right now, you saw we had 400 and some odd beers in our database. I'd like to bring that to be 1,000 or more. And then secondly, we've had 51, a little over 50 people have taken a beer profile. I'd like to get at least 100 people to take it. It'll still be free up to 100 people right now. So get your beer profile as soon as you can. And then finally, once we reach some of those milestones and we've really worked out all the kinks, we'd like to eventually develop this into an app for mobile devices. So that's our future plans. Go online, go to our website, carpenterbrewingcompany.com, and get your beer profile today while you can still get them for free. And I hope you guys find these interesting and valuable as something to bring around with you, especially when you're going to the store to look for a beer to pick up. Thanks.
If you like this video, subscribe below. Give us comments on beers that you'd like to see in a future episode of Brew Battles. Check out some of our other Brew Battle episodes. Follow us on Facebook. Look up Carpenter Brewing Company. Also, check out our website, carpenterbrewingcompany.com.